Once a devotee asked Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi, what is the state of attainment of knowledge? Bhagwan said, it is firm and effortless abidance in the self, in which the mind, which has become one with the self, doesn't subsequently emerge again at any time. That is, just as everyone usually and naturally has the idea I am not a goat, nor a cow, nor any other animal, but a man, when he thinks of his body, so also when he has the idea I am not the principles, tattvas, beginning with the body and ending with sound, nada, but the self which is existence, consciousness and bliss, the innate self consciousness, Atma, he is said to have attained firm knowledge. Devotee asked, to which of the 7 stages of knowledge does the sage Jnani belong? Bhagwan said he belongs to the 4th stage. Devotee asked, if that is so, why have 3 more stages superior to it been distinguished? Bhagwan said, the marks of the stages 4 to 7 are based upon the experiences of the realized person, Jivan Mukta. They are not states of knowledge and release so far as knowledge and release are concerned. No distinction whatever is made in these 4 stages. Devotee asked, as liberation is common to all, why is the Varishtha, the most excellent, alone praised excessively? Bhagwan said, so far as the Varishthas common experience of bliss is concerned, he is exalted only because of the special merit acquired by him in his previous births, which is the cause of it. Devotee asks, is no one who doesn't desire to experience constant bliss? What is the reason why all sages do not attain the state of Varishtha? Bhagwan said, it is not to be attained by mere desire or effort. Karma prarabdha is its cause. As the ego dies along with its cause, even in the 4th stage, bhumika, what agent is there beyond that stage to desire anything or to make efforts? So long as they make efforts, they will not be sages, jnanis. Do the sacred text Shrutis, which especially mention the Varishtha, say that the other 3 are unenlightened persons? Devotee asked, as some sacred texts say that the supreme state is that in which the sense organs and the mind are completely destroyed, how can that state be compatible with the experience of the body and the senses? Bhagwan said, if that were so, there would not be any difference between that state and the state of deep sleep. Further, how can it be said to be the natural state when it exists at one time and not at another? This happens, as stated before, to some persons according to their karma prarabdha. For some time or till death, it cannot properly be regarded as the final state. If it could, it would mean that all great souls and the Lord, who were the authors of the Vedantic books, Jnana Granthas, and the Vedas, were unenlightened persons. If the supreme state is that in which neither the senses nor the mind exist, and not the state in which they exist, how can it be the perfect state? As karma alone is responsible for the activity or inactivity of the sages, great souls have declared the state of Sahaj Nirvikalpa, the natural state without concept, alone to be the ultimate state. Devotee asked, what is the difference between ordinary sleep and waking sleep, Jagrit, Sushupti? Bhagwan said, in ordinary sleep, There are not only no thoughts but also no awareness. In waking sleep, there is awareness alone. That is why it is called awake while sleeping. That is the sleep in which there is awareness. Devotee asked, why is the self described both as the fourth state, Turiya, and beyond the fourth state, Turyatita? Turiya means Bhagwan said that which is the fourth, the experiencers, jivas of the three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, known as Vishva, Tejasa, and Prajna, who wander successively in these three states, are not the self. It is with the object of making this clear, namely that the self is that which is different from them and which is the witness of these states, that it is called the fourth Turiya. When this is known, the three experiencers disappear, and the idea that the self is a witness that it is the fourth also disappears. That is why the self is described as beyond the fourth Turyatita. Devotee asks, what is the benefit derived by the sages from the sacred books, Shrutis? Bhagavan said, the sage who is the embodiment of the truths mentioned in the scriptures has no use for them. Devotee asks, is there any connection between the attainment of supernatural powers, siddhis, and liberation, mukti? Bhagavan said, enlightened inquiry alone leads to liberation. Supernatural powers are all illusory appearances created by the power of Maya. Self realization, which is permanent, is the only true accomplishments, siddhi. Accomplishments which appear and disappear, being the effect of Maya, cannot be real. They are accomplished with the object of enjoying fame, pleasures, etc. They come unsought to some persons through their karma. Know that union with Brahman is the real aim of all accomplishments. This is also the state of liberation known as union. Devotee asked, if this is nature of liberation, moksha, why do some scriptures connect it with the body and say that the individual soul can attain liberation only when it doesn't leave the body? Bhagavan said, it is only if bondage is real that liberation and the nature of its experiences have to be considered. So far as the self Purusha is concerned, it has really no bondage in any of the four states, as bondage is merely a verbal assumption according to the emphatic proclamation of the Vedanta system. How can the question of liberation, which depends upon the question of bondage, arise when there is no bondage? Without knowing this truth, to inquire into the nature of bondage and liberation is like inquiring into the non existent height, color, etc. of a barren woman's son or the horns of a hare. Devotee asks, is so, do not descriptions of bondage and release found in the scriptures become irrelevant and untrue? Bhagavan said, no, they do not. On the contrary, the delusion of bondage, fabricated by ignorance from time immemorial, can be removed only by knowledge, and for this purpose the term liberation, mukti, has been usually accepted. That is all. The fact that the characteristics of liberation are described in different ways proves that they are imaginary. Devotee asks, if that is so, are not all efforts such as study and reflection useless. Bhagwan said, no, they are not. The firm conviction that there is neither bondage nor liberation is the supreme purpose of all efforts. As this purpose of seeing boldly through direct experience that bondage and liberation do not exist cannot be achieved except with the aid of the aforesaid practices, these efforts are useful. Devotee asked, is there any authority for saying that there is neither bondage nor liberation? Bhagwan said, this is decided on the strength of experience and not merely on the strength of the scriptures. Devotee asked, if it is experienced, how is it experienced? Bhagwan said, bondage and liberation are mere linguistic terms. They have no reality of their own, therefore, they cannot function of their own accord. It is necessary to accept the existence of some basic thing of which they are the modifications. If one inquires, for whom is their bondage and liberation, it will be seen they are for me. If one inquires, who am I, one will see that there is no such thing as the I. It will then be as clear as an amalaka fruit in one's head that what remains is one's real being, as this truth will be naturally and clearly experienced by those who leave aside mere verbal discussions and inquire into themselves inwardly. There is no doubt that all realized persons uninformedly see neither bondage nor liberation so far as the true self is concerned. Devotee asked, if truly there is neither bondage nor liberation, what is the reason for the actual experience of joys and sorrows? Bhagwan said, they appear to be real only when one turns aside from one's real nature. They do not really exist. Devotee asked, is it possible for everyone to know directly without doubt what exactly is one's true nature? Bhagwan said, undoubtedly it is possible. Devotee asked, how? Bhagwan said, it is the experience of everyone that even in the states of deep sleep, fainting, etc., when the entire universe, moving and stationary, beginning with earth and ending with the unmanifested Prakriti, disappears, he doesn't disappear. Therefore, the states of pure being, which is common to all and which is always experienced directly by everybody, is one's true nature. The conclusion is that all experiences in the enlightened as well as the ignorant state, which may be described by newer and newer words, are opposed to one's real nature. Hari Om Tat Sat.